All right, so you know you have the shutoff valve inside that doesn't hold.
Right.
You also have some service valves on every plumbing fixture, you know, underneath toilets and sinks, and that they're supposed to work as well.
Right.
But people don't realize that there's one more last line of defense outside somewhere. Anytime you have a municipal water supply, there's a main water supply right here in the street, and somewhere in front of your house, like right here, is a shutoff valve, and that's down below my feet, down below the frost line. Sometimes you look around, you have to look for it in the bushes, underneath the roots right here.
Right.
What you don't see is this. There's a shutoff valve like this that is way down below the frost line, as I mentioned, and that sits right here. Here's your supply. And now to protect it, it has something like this. So now this is the part that telescopes up to the sidewalk level. That's the part you see right here. Now in order to shut it off, they make a special wrench that is designed to go down through that tube. Just hold that, would you, for me? Now you got to fish it down like this. You got to try and find where that shutoff valve is, that curb stop, and then you turn it with a quarter turn. But this is the purview of the water department, and I'm going to let them do it.
Fantastic.
Lenny is from the local water department. He's going to start by opening the top curb cap. He's got a screw he's got to loosen. Now sometimes these are all cemented in, sometimes you can't find them, as I mentioned. We've also seen tree roots that can actually bend that whole tube, so it's not always easy to get this wrench down. Let's see how lucky he gets. Yeah? Just like that?
We're ready to go.
All right, give it a try.
And your water is shut off now.
Awesome. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Let's go check.
Okay.
So the water's off out in the street, and we've opened up the faucets in the house to drain the water down. And now we've got to install our new shutoff valve. So I'm going to actually use a different type of valve. This is called a ball valve. So it has a single handle. That tells you the water is in the direction of flow. This means it's closed. I'm going to cut it in right here, and that'll be perfect so I can still get that flow back in for you right there. Now, the way a ball valve works is a little bit different. Here's what it looks like on the outside, but here's a cutaway. So now if you look carefully, this is a stainless steel ball, and hence the name ball valve, and it sits down against this seat right here. So now when it's closed, you'll notice that there's no water coming through it. When I open it, I have a full port coming through with water coming right here, and you can see that the seal is still intact right there. So this is a perfect valve, and this is really the standard valve now in use nowadays. Now, in order to get enough room for me to solder it right there, what I'm going to do is to break these connections on the water meter. A little bit of water might come into the pit. That's just the water that's in the pipe above me here. So I need all the water to be drained out of this pipe because I can't have any water dripping above me, so let's hurry up and wait.
Sure.
I gotta clean the copper good enough to make a nice connection to the solder. It's always easier to do when the pipe's in place. One of my favorite tools is this little imp cutter designed to cut pipe in very tight spaces. I don't know what to do without it. Great. For a good solder connection, I clean both the pipe and the inside of the fitting. I apply flux to all those surfaces and then apply heat and solder the connection. I apply heat until the flux bubbles, and then I apply solder to the opposing side of the flame. The melted solder will pull right around the fitting to make a watertight seal. With a new shutoff valve soldered in place, it's time to call the water department to turn the water back on. All right, now with the water back on outside, it's ready for the test. Water's coming on. Just open up your faucet there.
We have water.
Okay, good. Now we're ready for the real test. I'm going to shut it off again. Is it stopping?
It is slowing down.
We just have to empty the pipe, water out of the pipes. So there, what do you think of that?
Fantastic.
All right, well, you have a valve that's in place and works.
Thank you, Richard. I really appreciate you coming over.
It was my pleasure.